Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, April 14th, and I'm your host, Adriana, and you are listening to Negotiating Happiness on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And just a reminder, if you wanted to sit back and watch some of our shows on Roku TV, just type in UFO Paranormal and we'll be on your big screen TV. So hello, everyone. Today I have Megan Reed on the show again. And if you've watched, our episodes before, you'll know that this is not her first time on the show. Hello, Megan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I can't wait to hear all about the new things and what you've been up to lately. So let's just give everyone a really quick intro of what we're going to talk about. Just a quick reminder, Megan is an award-winning confidence coach and best-selling author. And today she will be revealing how she wrote and published a bestseller in under a year. And through her signature blend of sarcastic wit and spiritual wisdom, Megan will share practical publishing strategies while tackling the mindset blocks and confidence hurdles that hold aspiring authors back, empowering listeners to transform their writing dreams into best-selling reality. I mean, I'm pumped.
I'm pumped too.
Right? Yeah. So, and also here's a quick little roundup. So if you haven't seen Megan in a while on the show, or if you haven't seen her at all, she is an award-winning confidence coach, best-selling author, podcast host, and Reiki master from the Midwest United States. And she's here to help you own your weird and unleash your main character energy, which I love. Also, that's the title of her book, guys, Main Character Energy. You'll find it on Amazon. She's the founder of Creating Confidence Society, on a mission to help you discover the magic of who you truly are so you can ditch your inner critic, get out of your own way, and unapologetically achieve your wildest dreams. As a certified quantum life and success coach, neurolinguistic programming, NLP, practitioner, hypnotherapist, emotional freedom technique, EFT practitioner, and Reiki master, Megan takes a heart-centered approach to helping her clients heal subconsciously so they can release what's holding them back, overcome imposter syndrome, let go of people-pleasing, and embody their most confident self, the one who goes after everything they've ever wanted. She's the sarcastic, spiritual, Frankie to your grace, no BS, self-love cheerleader you've been looking for. So this is definitely another episode you don't want to miss. How's it going, Megan?
It is going so well. I'm just so excited to be here, Adriana. And, I was thinking back to the first time I was live with you, and I think that was back in 2023.
Yes.
It has been years.
Yes, that is it. And I remember that Main Character Energy wasn't out yet. Right?
It was just about to release. Yes.
Yes. And then we had you on again once it released. And I mean, I have your book somewhere. It's here. Actually, are you guys ready? Hold on. I am no liar. Look at this. Look at this. I am not a liar, guys. This is it, the beautiful book by Megan, Main Character Energy. You'll find it on Amazon. I have not finished it, but I've started it. And I'm like, it's so good that I can't just zoom through it. I think I need to give it some space in my mind in order for it to sink in. So I'm super excited to do that. Perhaps when I go on vacation again in August.
Yes. August.
Yeah.
Come on, August. Vacation.
August. Yeah, pretty much. So tell us what you've been up to. Oh, we've got a hello, Melissa. How are you?
Hi, Melissa. So what have I been up to since we spoke last? Okay, well, since then, I now have a 3-year-old. I am pregnant with my second. We're having a boy this time, and I have really just leaned into my calling. I'm working on books number 2 and books number 3, and one thing I've really noticed is most of my clients have a book on their heart. And so I have really leaned into that, and I just launched a mastermind to help people write and publish their books in less than a year. And we just got started, and it is so much fun. And so that's kind of what I'm up to lately. I've been hosting retreats, I've been working with clients, and just having so much fun in between that, in my backyard garden with our chickens and planting everything since the last frost has passed. And I'm in my sourdough era as well. So that's where I've been in the last few years. I'm just so excited to be here now with you.
Amazing. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about how you got started on this entrepreneurship journey? Just kind of like a snippet so that everybody understands the beginnings. I love the beginnings because it shows us how far we've come, I should say.
Yes. Well, I will go back far, but take you through quickly. And so I actually went to university for graphic design and business. And outside of college, I went through a number of jobs that I didn't feel aligned and ended up designing greeting cards for Hallmark cards. Like your stereotypical, like I was designing Father's Day cards and Christmas cards and all the things. And I loved that. I probably would have stayed there in that job forever. But my husband, who was in chiropractic school, graduated, accepted a job in Nashville, 11 hours away. And so we moved. I left what I thought was my dream job, and I started to think about what it was I really wanted from life and what I really wanted to be doing with my time. And that kind of led into creativity coaching. I built an online course. I was like, I'm going to help people learn how to letter. I was training to be a lettering artist by the Hallmark artists that were in studio. And I'm going to help them learn how to hand letter to find their creative voice, to find their voice in general. And so I created that. I launched that. It went so well. And I realized I didn't actually care about lettering that much, but I really loved helping people find their voice. And so I was just constantly following these little paths of breadcrumbs in my business. And I was like, oh, okay, I learned something. I don't care about the lettering. So I kind of just set that part down, and I was like, let's lean into creativity coaching, which then kind of leaned into helping creatives build confidence, because I found that's what they were lacking most. And that's where the Creating Confidence coaching program came from, my signature trademarked program that I used to only lead creatives through to kind of just help them find their creativity again. And fast forward, through many certifications and retreats and clients and programs and launches later, I am here now. I'm a best-selling author. I've won some awards for my coaching, and I just love the life that I have been able to build and the journey that I've been on in the past. Gosh, it's really only been, I've been in business for just under 6 years.
Right. Well, I mean, you've done so much, and like, that I keep coming back to this recently, where I'm like, guys, we need to, start looking at the past to see how far we've come, because we just raise the bar so much that we don't see the progress. And sometimes this seems super frustrating or super hard, or like, oh my gosh, here we go again. But here you are, you've reinvented, kind of, what you're doing for, the third time. And how do you feel about it now? What's different now? Like what's different for you now?
I'd say what's different for me now is, for a long time I focused on just confidence in general. And that really looked like, confidence to go after the things that they wanted to go after. And I've gotten really super specific lately. And it's confidence to write your book. It's confidence to publish it in less than a year. It's like, It's truly what is
Wild.
different for me now is I'm leaning into all of my expertise instead of feeling like I have to put myself into like 5 different boxes because I was, I was a graphic designer. I ran a photography business. I wrote a book. I'm a coach. There's so many facets to my business that I always, for a long time, felt like I had to separate. And now with what I'm doing with my mastermind book baddies, I get to use all of that. I'm helping people write. I'm writing alongside them. Like we're having a writing retreat and I will also be writing. I'm helping people design. I designed my cover and formatted my book. So my VIP members get that included. I'm hosting retreats with them. We're going on writing retreats. I'm getting to use my photography. We're having photo shoots. So what's different now and what feels so good and so aligned in my business is I'm getting to use all of the things that once brought me joy instead of feeling like I had to set something down to pursue like one path.
Right. How did you find, so now obviously you've gone through the process and you're helping other people do it, which is amazing. I've looked into the process myself too. And if you can't dedicate the time or if you don't have the expertise, it's very daunting to, kind of go there like hurdles, right? Like step 1 through 10 before you even see a copy of your book out, probably more. But what was it like for you going through the process the first time?
It was overwhelming the first time, right? You're so right. Like writing a book it can feel so daunting. And I've been saying lately, like writing a book is one of the greatest mindset challenges you'll ever sign yourself up for, because the writing part is not the part that's hard. Like people who have a book on their soul, if they actually sit down and allow themselves to write, the words just flow. Like the writing is not the hard part. It's all of the questions that come up, all of the things that your inner critic is saying, like, I don't even know where to start. Who am I to write this? Who would even read this? Like all the questions, the mindset stuff, that was for me the hardest part and what kept me from having it done even sooner than a year, because there were a lot of times I just set the book down because I didn't want to finish it, because I didn't want my dad to read it, right? I didn't want my mom to read it. I didn't want to talk about some of the things in the book. And so it's all the mindset shit around being seen and allowing people to like hear your voice. Like that was the hardest part for sure.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think people think that the hardest part is the writing, but it's not. It's the everything that comes with it, right? Because typically you have a good idea that spurred kind of this project for you anyway, right? So the writing is there. It's just waiting to be uncovered. It's everything else that's kind of like holding it back. It's very interesting. Yeah. So I guess explain in very general terms how, like if somebody's watching this and they're thinking, like how could I possibly fast track this? Like I've been putting this off for so long. Like what's the idea behind this?
So the big idea is uncovering why you're not working on it or what's taking you so long to move forward with it, right? I've had so many clients who have had this like book on their heart for 4, 5, 6, 10 years, however long it's been on their heart. And so the first thing we do together is unpack like what is actually holding them back from it. Like where is that resistance? What is the belief there? What story are they telling themselves? Because there's almost always something so much deeper than I'm too busy to write a book, right? That's just the excuse people use. And people say, oh, I have writer's block. Like I don't also believe in writer's block. I believe in mindset blocks. I believe in limiting beliefs. Like there's a lot of reasons why you're not writing, but it's not a writer's block.
Right. So it's something else. But it's funny because it's been given to us as like a catch-all sort of explanation. So then we just lean into it instead of being like, oh, I just need some time to pass. And you're like, no, you need to actually figure out what this is.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the power of having a coach. Like if you have a book on your heart and a book on your soul, but for whatever reason, you're not working on it, and you've made a lot of like really good and really logical excuses, like you can't prioritize it right now, you're really busy right now, all these things, like life is never going to get easier and calmer, right? When you decide to write a book, it fits into the cracks where it needs to fit in, right?
Right.
Yeah, Melissa says getting past the roadblock, have to face the main reason. Yeah. You've got to get around whatever it is that's stopping you.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I guess if people aren't too familiar, right? Like I'm sure that the clients that you work with understand the heart-centered approach that you have, but if people aren't really familiar with that, like how would you describe that? Because to some people, getting around the roadblock is like a foreign language, right? So how would you be able to ease somebody that's not in that mindset to be like, this is what it actually means?
Right. I think to understand heart-centered, we have to take a look at like someone who's head-centered and like the logical brain as well, right? Because your logical brain doesn't want you to write a book. Your logical brain doesn't want you to be uncomfortable. It doesn't want you to try something new. It does not want you to change and grow, because what we, with neuroscience, we know the brain will never choose growth. The brain will do anything to stay exactly how it is. And so that's why when we can get out of our heads and just sink into our bodies, sink into our hearts, and feel into what is the truth for us, what is most important to us, what our soul is calling us to do, that's when the magic happens. And something that I said recently that just really hit is like, if we can let our brain and our heart write, our books would be done already.
Yeah.
Right. It's that logical, it's the head center that really keeps us from accessing everything that's in our heart and everything that we already have like at our disposal inside of us.
Right. So it's taking that extra step and kind of really being like, why is this important to me, and why do I need to push through it? But you're right, people don't like to be uncomfortable. So and especially if you're one of those people, I think the only good part about being always head centered is I think that maybe we realize quicker that we need help in terms of coaching or like an editor or whatever it is in the process, right? Because logically speaking, you can't possibly do everything yourself, right? I mean, you could try, but unless you have some sort of expertise or knowledge in the field, it's going to be an uphill battle the entire time. So then it doesn't even feel like it's going to be, rewarding. It's all just challenges the whole way. So then you realize, no, I need some help with this. I need to do it in half the time and half the cost, because if you're not adding your time as cost, then you're just not doing good business anyway, right? And most people, that's what they tend to do, is they just tend to say, it's okay, I'll do it. And I'm like, but if you're the CEO of your own company, you're the highest paid employee, so to speak. So how does that make any sense cost-wise for you to struggle through something like this when you could get somebody else? And some people understand it right away, and some people are just like, no, I just don't have the money. Like, it's a cost thing. But I was like, but it costs you more when you put your time into it, right?
Yes. And that's such a good point too, with the head-centered people. Like, head-centered is really about strategy, and there's a time and place for strategy, and there's a time and place for the heart center, which is like the energetics. And oftentimes in business, especially with my clients who are recovering from perfectionism, they're recovering from people pleasing and really just like putting themselves out there, it's not a strategy problem for them. They have the strategy, they have the people, they have the systems. It's an energy problem. It's an energetic thing. There is some kind of mindset, energetic piece that is holding them back from moving forward. And the strategy will never work if you don't address the mindset stuff.
Right. And I have to make this clear. I don't think that we're aware of how many blocks we've got in our mindset. I don't think we can be that aware. I mean, if we were, then half the battle would be done already, right? So it's really interesting. The more you read into it, or the more you talk to maybe other entrepreneurs, the more you're like, oh, I don't have problems with that, but I do have problems with that. So then you start to kind of like pick apart this idea of what it means to be an entrepreneur. You're like, hold on a minute. There's like layers upon layers of this that I haven't uncovered, of like what's holding me back, what are my blocks. I find that a lot of people have blocks around like money, about making money, right? And they self-sabotage. It's the same with success. Sometimes you let imposter syndrome just completely take over and you forget about everything else. So then you create this like block in your head about like, no, I can't possibly do that, right?
Yeah, I don't deserve to be there. Like, I don't deserve to be a bestseller. Who would ever read my book, right? Like all of those mindset blocks. You're right. Most people don't even know they have those thoughts until they're reflected back to them.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where I'm saying asking for help is such a big, like, you know, eye opener to be like, oh, I didn't realize that I was speaking like that. Or even how you talk about your project to people, that also affects you, because then you tend to put too much pressure on how the person responds to it. So like, I'm writing a book, and same thing. I feel like I've told maybe 2 people, and I've been kind of like scared to you know, to talk about it. But then I'm like, wait, like, why am I putting so much weight onto what these 2 people are thinking? Not that I don't value them, I do, but it's the way that I'm talking about it that is already presenting the idea in a certain way. So it's already like biased, right? It's already coming out with my own blocks out of it without even realizing. So they can only judge what I'm putting out, right?
Right. First of all, congratulations, you're writing a book.
I am. It's about operations. Nothing super fun, but you know, fun for me.
If it's fun for you, it will be fun for many people like you.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, we're not there yet, but we're on the way.
I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's actually really great timing too that we're talking. It's so funny how it all just kind of comes together. And for the woo in me, for the woo community, it's funny because it came out, it was more like keep getting all these signs. Maybe I should do something about all these signs, right? And that's how like that idea came about. But then once I looked at the materials, like, oh, the book is here. I just have to, you know, put it out there. So,
yeah, you have to allow yourself to write it. And you have to tell people about it without saying, oh, it's not super fun. Because that's just you projecting.
I know. That's exactly what I know. That's exactly it. Like, guys, sometimes when I talk because I'm there, you know, like I'm in those shoes, right? I mean, I hope that people can relate to a lot of this stuff, right? And I have talked to other people that have put books out and they're exactly in the same position, or were in your position where they're like, I didn't have this, you know, resource or this information, so it took me X amount of time, or, you know, so it's really handy to have those kinds of things. So guys, if you're thinking about writing a book, you know, check out Megan, check out her website, check out her Instagram. She's always posting tidbits, and you can get in touch with her as well. And you said you're helping clients through it, right? With is it a program that you've got running right now?
I actually just started the program in April. Like we've just started, which is so fun. It's a mastermind. And inside we are diving into all things writing and self-publishing. And I think one of my favorite pieces, you know, apart from we have like monthly group coaching calls and then like monthly one-on-one strategy sessions to really meet people where they are and help them on their specific journey. But one of my favorite parts is every week I'm dropping audio lessons for them based on where they're at and the questions that they're asking and what's coming up for them. And an audio that's dropping today for them. One of the mastermind members was like, I haven't even worked on my book since we've started. And the audio is all about like, is that true that you've not worked on it? Because if we can truly, once you decide to write a book, everything that you're doing in your life is informing that book, right? Like sometimes you have to let the ideas simmer and let the ideas download and let everything just noodle while it's coming together. Like you have to create that space. You have to go rest. You have to go play. You have to go do things that are filling your cup. And that's when the energy to write and channel your message is going to come so effortlessly for you. And so that's the audio that's dropping today. Is like, it's not true that you're not working on your book, because you are always working on your book. Maybe you're not always writing actively.
Right. Which makes sense. Yeah. And I guess in this whole process that you've gone through, what are some of the like most common challenges, I guess? Like what do you keep hearing over and over for people?
Well, the first question that I usually get is like, where do I even start? And my response back to that is always, well, where is your energy at right now? Like, what is exciting you the most right now? What is downloading for you? Maybe that is your outline and that's where you start. Or maybe this like one chapter, like you're like, oh, I've got ideas for this. Like that's wherever your energy is flowing is where you should follow it, because there's no wrong way to write a book, right? Like there are a lot of book coaches out there who will be like, first you have to outline it, then you have to do this, and then you have to do that, right? There's so many steps they require you to do. And my approach is a lot different than that. And it leans more into where's your energy and how can we leverage that to help you get your book done faster. Because what doesn't work that I've seen for entrepreneurs is putting ourselves in this box where somebody says you have to write for 30 minutes every day and then your book will get done. Like, absolutely not. You can do that. That is an option if that lights you up. And in my experience, those 30-minute blocks that people make for themselves, they ignore them. They don't even do it, right? They're like, I didn't do it. Oh, well.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Right. So we have to work with your energy. Like writing is such a feminine energy, creative thing, right? And to put such a masculine 30 minutes a day time block on it just does not align, especially for female entrepreneurs. It depends where you are in your cycle. There's so many factors that affect whether or not you have the energy for a certain piece. And so I don't force anyone in any of my clients to like create such a rigid plan for themselves, because it just sets them up for failure, like in burnout. And I tried that. I tried the 30 minutes a day, and it took me about 2 weeks to be like, no, this does not work for me. This writing is shit.
Right.
Sorry for cussing.
No, that's okay. And okay. you know, it's okay. There's a study out there that says people that usually cuss are the most honest ones generally.
Oh, okay, good. I've been like censoring my language. My book is full of cuss words, and that's actually, when you were sharing, Adriana, your book, and you said it's about, operations. It's not very fun. That was like your disclaimer. It's not very fun. My disclaimer is it's full of cuss words. Like if you like cussing, you'll love it. If you don't, like, you're going to hate it.
Yeah. No, that's so funny. I mean, we can do the little words. We just can't do the big words on air. Right.
Right.
And I wanted to, there's a part in here actually in your book on page 71. And you wrote this thing where it's kind of like, we've heard it so many times, but until you let it sink in, it doesn't really like mean anything. And it says there's no such thing as the perfect time to do anything. If there was, we'd all have found it by now. Mm-hmm. Right. And you like, how many times have you thought this about a project, about a book, about like starting a business, about whatever? And it's like, there's no such thing as perfect time. And people do that a lot too when they want to have kids. It's like, it's just not the right time. I was like, it's never going to be the right time.
No.
Like, there's like, it's never going to happen. And it's so true. It's like, if there was, we'd have found it by now. By the amount of people that I know that are type A, that are, like they've got everything, they've got their crap together, so to speak. And they've got all of it organized. And if they're the ones that are still saying, I just haven't found the right time, it's because there isn't one. Mm-mm. Right. So because we would have found it by now. I love that one single thing here that I was like, oh yeah, I remember reading this, Melissa's is so true. Right. Like it's think about it. Anything that you do in life, or how many times have you thought about or we learned about inventions where they're literally accidents? People don't set out to invent something specific. They're just accidents. Do you think that they planned for that? Do you think that there was a right time? No, it purely just happened because they started something. That's it.
Yeah. They just decided to start.
Yeah.
That was it. And that's all it takes is that energy. It's that decision to move forward, even though you're busy, even though maybe your finances aren't where you want them. You're so right, Adriana. Like your finances are never ready for kid number 2, number 3, like there will always be something. There will always be a really good reason as to why you can't or shouldn't or wouldn't or couldn't go after what you truly want. So
I think you have to decide. I think that's the universe's way of making us, like, that is free will, because if you didn't have the opposite, right, you couldn't make a decision because it's almost like it's already been made for you. But these decisions are not made for you, really. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are situations where you make decisions and people criticize your decisions because they don't understand what options you have, because they don't see that part of it. And that's totally okay. But when it's something like this, when it's something creative, when it's something where you just need to take the plunge, it's like, what are you waiting for, right? When is there isn't a good time. We would have, like, somebody would have found it by now. Somebody would have found the formula and sold it for $1 million by now. But it doesn't exist,
Yes.
It just doesn't exist.
It doesn't. And that's one thing that's really resonated, with my clients and with the people who have already enrolled in Book Baddies is like, you could be either holding your book in your hands a year from now or wishing you would have started your book already a year from now. And you can apply that to anything in your business. Like you could be, launching your next program a year, like right now. You could be enjoying the fruits of your program, or you could be wishing you would have launched it already. Why not now?
Right.
Why not you, and why not now?
Which part of the process do you find that is the most time consuming?
I would say the editing process is time consuming, because not only, so here's kind of a little rundown of how writing and publishing a book looks, if you're curious. So and this is not all of this has to be in this order, but this is the order that it's coming out of my brain right now, right? So you have your outline, right? You write, and then you self-edit, like you go back through and you read and you add things, you change things, you delete things that feel weird, right? And then when you're done self-editing, this is where I recommend having peer editors, having some people really close to you that you value their opinion, they understand the work that you're doing. They read your rough first draft. They give you feedback. You take that feedback with a grain of salt. Of course, this is still your creation, and feedback is a gift. And so you take that feedback, you implement it, and then you send it to an editor. And depending on how many rounds you need with the editor, sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3. It's anywhere really in between there. Kind of working on, like, is there a through line? Your developmental editing, like line edits, like are there typos, is there grammatical things, right? And then after editing, you get that all back. You get to take all of that with a grain of salt too, right? When my editor gave me back my edits, I had the opportunity to sit with the things that she said, right? Because feedback is a gift, and some of it made me so angry. And I was like, I'm not editing this. And then, you sit with it and you're like, you're right. Like, it could be improved. But the editing piece is, I think, what takes the longest, because we are so attached to our writing. To get feedback on it feels so vulnerable. It's so exposing. It's somebody like purposefully critiquing our soul on paper or digitally, wherever it is, right? And so that is the part where a lot of people get kind of caught up. Like maybe they've wrote the whole first draft. They're like, oh, I'm already done with my manuscript, right? Like, okay, but now what? Like, what are you going to do with that? Because I've seen that process take way longer than it should. One of my clients who came to me, and we in a VIP day just kind of unpacked everything for her. She had been editing her book for 6 months and hadn't even gotten it to an editor. And that takes, a few weeks at least, right? Depending on what's on their plate and how quickly they edit. And that's just one round of editing, right? And so editing really is the part that can take the longest, especially if you let it, because that's where a lot of new mindset stuff comes up. Like you'll tackle the mindset stuff while you're writing, and then you'll tackle like new mindset stuff while you're editing. And then, dive into the design of your cover, the formatting of your book, how you're marketing it, how you're launching it, like all those things. That's kind of what happens, all the pieces of writing and self-publishing a book, right? But it's that editing piece where I find the mindset stuff really, really can drag out your timeline.
Right. So if you are thinking of doing that, maybe keep that in mind. So it's not just the writing part. I think people are just scared of the writing part for the most part. We got a question, Mel. She says, what was your biggest surprise writing your first book? Something you didn't anticipate? It's a good question.
That is a great question. Thank you, Melissa. My biggest surprise writing my first book was, I think it's twofold. The first surprise was how easy it was. Like when I got the download to write a book, I was feeding my daughter in a dark nursery, and just rocking her. There's not a lot you could do other than think. And I just had this like knowing. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to write a book. And I have to call it main character energy. Like I just had this knowing. And then I panicked because I was like, oh no, somebody else is going to write this first and publish it before I get mine out. And then I'll be not unoriginal, right? Like there was mindset stuff that came up immediately. But it was surprising how easily the next weekend, the entire outline downloaded for me when I was at a spa weekend for a bachelorette party. I was sitting inside I was just like naked in a sweaty sauna, and you're forced.
Love that.
It's forced quiet time, right? And so I was just thinking, and then all of a sudden I was getting like chapter titles and what the lesson of that chapter was and what story I was going to tell to support that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to write this down. And so I'm like wrapping up in a robe, and I'm just like barefoot running through this like elegant spa. And I go, I'm begging the front desk people. I'm like, do you have a pen or some paper? And they had a pen, but the only paper they had was like some cut up scraps from their trash can. I was like, give me that. That will work. And I just took it back to the sauna and I wrote that all out. And so I was surprised by how easy like getting started really was once I allowed myself to accept that I wanted to write a book, because there were so many, like growing up and all the things, you're like, I'm not a good writer. I'm not qualified to write on this. Like who would read? There's so many beliefs that come up when you decide like, even though I think all those things, I'm still going to write a book. That's, I think, when the magic starts like happening. And so that was the first surprise, was how easy it was. And the second surprise that I didn't really anticipate was how hard I was going to be on myself throughout the entire process. Like I wasn't writing fast enough. I wasn't working on it often enough. Like there were so many pieces to it. And in hindsight, like how hilarious, right? Like it was out in less than a year, but the whole time it felt like a project that I was never going to finish. It felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. Like I just never. It took me a long time to believe that I could actually finish it, even though I was on track the entire time, right? I was mean to myself. I did not know it would be such a mindset game. Like on a writing retreat one weekend, took my glass of wine out into the cold air just to like scream, because it was like day 2 and I'd removed more words than I'd written, like. So I was surprised how easy it was, and I was surprised at how hard it was.
No, but I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, where if you allow yourself to have those quiet moments, or if you allow yourself to have that break, you would be surprised how well or how cooperative your brain is. I get that sometimes. So same thing, actually, I don't know what it is about a sauna. I think it makes me want to like go into like meditation mode, but I also get the best ideas in a sauna, and I can't have my phone in there. And I'm like, what? I'm going to forget everything. Like how, and I do forget everything. And then I go, it's fine. I'll just have another sauna session. But like, I haven't gone to the gym in a while. So that's the problem, right? Because that's where I go. I usually like have a workout and then I go, feel great. Now I go in the sauna and I'm like, okay, now is Zen. Especially if no one's in there, it's great. That's also when my brain just kind of goes, it would be a great idea. So it's funny, but when I'm not allowing or giving myself that time, my brain is like, nope, not happening, because I'm overloading it with everything else. So it's almost that like, how do you make time, but you need to make time, but also how do you give yourself the break because you need the break, but also how do you stay on top of everything, right? That's
Right.
mindset that you're talking about, but it happens to me too, for sure. For sure. And then Melissa says, I love that story. We need to listen to our brain when it gives us what we ask for it. And even if it's not the best timing, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Melissa. And Adriana, take a journal in the sauna with you, my girl.
I know. I'm going to have to now. Because now I'm thinking, hey, I'm not the only one that gets those like brilliant ideas in the sauna. Or even just, I love just being outside at night. It's so quiet. It's so peaceful. I really love that. And I love going camping. I hate bugs, but I love going camping because of the whole like, starry night. It's super quiet. I can turn my phone off. I can just be in nature. And I think that's where my brain like really thrives. It's almost like a battery charger. Like you just recharge the entire time when you're out in nature. And not everybody's like that. Like sometimes, working out for them, that's their recharge. For me, it's just being out there. So that's a great story, Megan. And I can totally relate. You're just like, I'm just grabbing my wine and going outside to scream for a minute because there's nothing else in here.
Yes, I needed a reset, and that was outside time, but mostly just shouting into the void of darkness with a glass of wine in my slippers.
Yeah, that sounds great. Before we go on, because time is flying over here because we're having so much fun. If you guys are just tuning in, you're listening to Negotiating Happiness, and I'm here today with Megan Reed, and we're talking about fast tracking your publishing success. And you are on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. If you guys are just tuning in and need to watch the rest or the beginning of the episode, we are streaming across platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, I think, as well. Plus, you'll find us everywhere that podcasts live as well, even though you might not be on 105.3 and 107.7 in New Orleans. And Megan, we were just kind of going through some questions about, the most surprising things about the process, what took the longest. What are some of the things what are some of the milestones so since now that you've done it a couple times, what are some of the milestones that kind of indicate like, oh my gosh, or that you have to tell people, it's like, you don't understand how monumental this point is in this process. You need to enjoy it. You need to celebrate it. Like, what are some of those like tidbits to look forward to?
I would say the first like big milestone that people really overlook is the decision to write the book. You just saying to the world, like, I'm writing a book and telling somebody about it. Like, that's such a huge milestone. That's so big, because think about how many people in the world have a book on their soul and they die with that book on their soul.
Yeah.
Right. They never write the book because because of all the stuff that comes up on why they shouldn't. Right.
Right.
And so the big first milestone is celebrating the fact that you're going to write a book. Right. And you've decided to write a book. And after that, there's milestones like everything in your book writing process is a chance to celebrate a milestone publicly. It's a chance to market. It's a chance to launch and warm your audience up for that, right? So you finish your outline. That's a milestone. You finish this chapter. You hit this word count, like whatever it is. Every like milestone that you hit, everything that you accomplish within your book is an opportunity for you to publicly launch, publicly warm, right? And that's something that we're doing inside the mastermind too, is just a reminder of all these things that you're doing are things that you get to share with your audience.
Yeah.
because what won't sell your book is keeping it to yourself. Right. And so, Adriana, you've told 2 people. you just told the whole world on live radio. So amazing. But really, there's so many milestones, right? Like you finish your first draft, you finish your first round of self-editing, you got your peer edits back, you just sent it to your editor, you just got notes from your editor, your cover is done. Like all of those things are milestones. Like everything in you can have a milestone with your book every day if you want to, right? When you're like, oh, I wrote 5,000 words today, that's a milestone. Like basically everything that you're doing is a milestone in a journey worth celebrating.
Right. It's so funny how we're so focused on other people's validation that we don't put in place these, success trackers for ourselves, because no one's going to know when I'm done my 5,000 page or whatever, your 5,000 words, sorry. Right. But if we're relying on someone else and you're saying, oh, my editor said that this is good to go, like, woo, huge milestone. And it is, but it's because you're relying on somebody else's validation, right? You're not setting those things up for yourself. And sometimes people think that it's maybe overkill. I think it's fuel for the fire. So if that fire is, constructive, not destructive, like you need fuel for that fire to keep you going. And if this is what's going to do it, like that's easy, Yeah, that's easy. So
yes. Sharing is selling. So every time that you share about your book, whether you're just getting started, whether you're halfway done, whether it's in its final rounds before you hit publish, every time that you talk about your book is an opportunity for someone to see your book, to know about it, to learn about it, and to want it, to pre-order it, to buy it when it's live, right?
Right. What are probably, this is probably my last question, kind of like, let's pretend that we're all through that process. You're at the stage where you kind of have to market and you have to put it out there. I guess my first question would be, how did you find the whole self-publishing situation? And the other one would be, if you could go back and do something different in the marketing or the pre-launch, what would it be?
One thing I would preface is that the marketing and the launching of your book happens the moment you decide to write a book.
Ooh, that's good.
It happens the moment you decide, because then your next task is to tell the world you're working on something exciting. You don't have to share what you're working on. You don't have to share the title of it. Maybe you don't even have a title, but you're doing something. And so, it's like with any program launch at all, right? You want to build hype. You want to warm up your audience to the idea that you're doing something big and they want to follow along. And so the moment you decide to write a book, that's when the marketing for your book starts. That's when you start posting on your stories and teasing in your emails that you're working on something. And as stuff continues to download, you can celebrate with them. You can finally announce to them what you're doing, right? You can share a chapter, like all those things. Marketing takes place the whole time, and that is one of the most important pieces to hitting bestseller, is getting more copies sold, right? If you don't talk about your book for the 9 months that you're working on it, and you just talk about it in the last week, think about how many less people are going to hear about it, right? We want to give them time to hear and to get excited with you and for you. And and I think that's the importance of like building a book launch team too, is like the people around you that are so hyped to help spread the hype. It's so powerful, right? And it just like brings the energy. Something that I would go back and do differently. I think that's a great question, and one that feels difficult to answer. I had my book on pre-order. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
From Colorado. And pre-order is exciting and great. But when I did that, and this was maybe one of my biggest lessons. So I went through Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing That was the self-publishing platform that I used. There's many others. The top two are Amazon KDP and Ingram Spark. Those are the top two. There are still others out there. And when I had it like pre-order, I had to set like a launch date that I thought it would be done. And I was done before that, but it wouldn't let me release it early because of the pre-orders. And so I learned a lesson in like releasing control of timing, because I wanted it to publish on August 18th, my birthday. Like I wanted it to be like 365 days from like idea to publish. Yeah. And I was done a few days sooner than that. And I thought it would allow me to just like control when it would happen. And it actually ended up launching. It said it was going to take 3 business days to go live. So I really had no idea. And then I got on Amazon one day and it was just live. Like I didn't even know it was live.
Oh no.
And so I learned a little bit. Like I don't know if I'll pre-order for my second and third book when they go live. Yeah. That's like something I get to decide for myself. But at least this time I know.
What a good lesson, right?
Right. Like release the control of the timing of the exact launch date, because Amazon had control that day.
They control a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, I've had people that have launched books on, I think it was Book Boon as well. And I mean, guys, none of this stuff is sponsored. This is just us sharing different platforms, different knowledge, right? But I mean, hit us up if you need the sponsorship. There's Book Boon, there's other ones. It depends if you just want to make it available on like digital, if you want the paper copies, or it just depends on what you want to do with it. And I just remember going, I want to say that it was early January. I went with a client and a friend to a speaking event, and basically it was to draw in more crowds that wanted to become speakers. And the whole premise of it too is, you need a book. You need a book to do those things. And I never thought about it that way, but I guess it makes sense. You need to have like a work, works behind you to kind of say this is where it's all kind of stemming from. But this is a great opportunity too to diversify, to share with the world what you have to share. It's not always about business. Like sometimes people that are very highly structured environments choose to go with the heart-centered approach and release a book about something completely different, like not in their industry, and that's okay. That's like their creative outlet. There's no rules. I feel like once you're an entrepreneur, you have to realize that there are no rules. You get to make your own rules. And this is why I'm just like, hi, thank you. There are no rules, right? With this
There's no rules. Yeah.
There's no rules. And for those of you just tuning in, this is what it's called. It's great. I love it. I haven't finished it yet, but so far I love it. But we have just before we go here, we have a question from Heidi. She says, I have a friend that's using self-publishing on Amazon. She's always telling me I need to write a book. Were you satisfied with Amazon?
Heidi, I was satisfied with Amazon. And if someone's telling you that you need to write a book, first the question is, do you want to write a book? And if the answer is yes, then 100% you need to write a book. If you don't want to write a book, you don't have to, right? Nobody will make you. And I was satisfied with Amazon. It has been helpful for sure. I love the fact that I don't have to house any stock. Like literally it's print on demand. So, Adriana orders the book, Amazon prints it and ships it to her. I don't have to do anything. I just get royalties. Right. I make about, for full transparency, I make about $5 per copy sold, and I get to decide that number. Like I got to price my book. I got to decide the percentage that I got. All of that, you have a lot of control, while at the same time you don't, right?
Yeah. That's amazing. That's awesome. Thank you for the transparency. This is why I love connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs, because I keep getting this comment actually from other people. I've been doing a lot more in-person networking, and I keep getting comments saying, it's like, oh, wow, like you're so open. There's not a lot of people that are willing to talk about it. I was like, but what does that foster. Like that fosters a culture of like, we're not even learning from each other at that point, right? So
Right.
it's really
I am anti-gatekeeper. And that's one of the reasons I made the Book Baddies Mastermind, is because so many people had so many questions because they weren't getting answers on the internet. They weren't getting answers from other coaches. And I'm like, let me give you the information. Like, please, I've been through this process. I know the behind the scenes, the stuff that comes up. And so like, I just love to be a person that spreads knowledge. Yeah. Heidi's a seeker of knowledge. Like,
yes.
I love to be that person. And I love what you said earlier, Adriana. I don't want to let it slip away before I address it. Speaking is such a powerful way to monetize your book also. Like, maybe I make 5 copies per book sold, and when I'm getting booked for keynote speaking engagements now, making the most I've ever made for speaking engagements, and then I sell my book afterwards for more than ticket price because I'm signing it. And so it's like $15-ish, $16.95 I think on Amazon. I sell my books after my keynote presentations for $20 for a signed copy, right? And so I'm making money while making money. It's an amazing lead generator. It's positioning me as an authority in my field. It allowed me to get so clear on my marketing and messaging, like main character energy. Like, it's just, writing a book is one of the best things I ever did for my business.
Amazing. Yeah. That's the kind of like the conclusion that I'm coming to as well, right? But that's amazing. And it just opens up a lot of doors, I think, right? And now you've gone through, which I call it like in operations, right? Like you've gone through your build, grow, scale phase, regardless of what the scale phase looks like for you, because it looks different for everybody. And then now you're in growth 2.0. So growth 2.0 forces you to go back to where your operation stuff is. So like your branding, your website, your messaging, your all of it. So like every time you reach like a new point of success and you've grown in some other way, you kind of have to go back and tweak it. And that's exactly what you've done, right? Like you've recalibrated where your services are. You've recalibrated what kind of events you're going to, and what kind of retreats you're running, and what kind of people you want to work with, which is so important, right? That you have to surround yourself with people. Like if you're at that stage, I can't tell you how freeing it is to be able to pick the people that you want to work with.
Yes.
Because you're no longer in the like hustle and the struggle and the I'll take anything. You know what I mean? That is gone. That is gone. So it's amazing. But thank you so much for all the questions, Heidi. And thank you so much, Megan, for answering all of them so beautifully. We've got like 2 minutes left. So my usual traditional questions for the last 2 minutes are, what makes Megan happy right now? What's that trade-off for all of this work? And I don't mean like mom Megan or just inner Megan.
The trade-off for all that work. My question back is, which all that work, right?
Like when we're talking about negotiating happiness, we're talking about, we put in so much work in our businesses or in our entrepreneur self that it has to lead to something else in order for us to feel happy as a whole. So sometimes, and this is a really good opportunity for entrepreneurs to kind of show a little bit more of a personal side to them, because people buy from people, but it's not just about the buying. It's about like, hi, if I can do this and still fulfill this part of me, like you can do that too, right? So I don't know, for me it's travel, right? Does it always have to do with pleasure? A lot of the times, sometimes it's for work, but that really fulfills me. So what makes Megan happy with all of this?
What makes me happy, I would say, is the opportunities that have come to me from all of this. So like in the past year, I've been on the most amazing trips just because I've shown up as myself and people want to be on my energy. And so I just got back from West Palm Beach in Florida for a week. I co-facilitated a retreat there. Last fall, I got to go to the Galapagos Islands with a group. I got to go to Sedona. I got to go to Costa Rica. I've gotten to travel the world just because I've shown up and followed those breadcrumbs of alignment for myself. And that's what like makes me really happy is these like hell yes opportunities, you know, that it's on my vision board. And that it just says like, heck yes opportunities. Right.
That's amazing.
And just, I get to travel and feel luxurious. And then I get to come home and dig in my garden and collect eggs from the chickens. And I feel so grounded and expansive at the same time. Like we have big dreams. Like my husband and I, we want to have land and a homestead, and we're farming in our backyard neighborhood garden right now. And we're making the most of it. And it feels so magical. And I would say that's what makes me so happy is I get to decide how I want to feel and what I want to do each day.
That's amazing. That's freedom. The decision. That's freedom, really. Well, thank you so much. We are out of time. As per usual, we had a great time, so we didn't even know that time was flying. Thank you, everybody in the comments. Heidi, Melissa, everybody that tuned in. And we will see you next week. Megan, you need to come back, of course, whenever you're ready, because we'd love to hear more.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a good one, everybody.